Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Emily and you're very welcome here for a little bit of a cross stitch update. It is Thursday, October the 19th, 9 in the morning. It's a bit gloomy here, it's raining, so my light's a bit, I've got the big overhead light on which makes me look 300 years old. I'm not 300 years old, but you know, getting there. Anyway, cross stitch. Been a little while since I've updated. Busy in my new job, which is going, I think, really well. It's definitely suiting me much better time-wise. It's a lot more physical than my last job, which my body is adjusting to. After being on my feet in a boiling hot kitchen for 12 to 13 hours a shift, I was thinking that doing 8 or 9 hours would be a walk in the park, but there's an awful lot of lifting and shifting and twisting and moving and walking, a lot more. So I'm sleeping a lot at the moment, which I think's probably just my body catching up with itself. So I'm losing stitchy time to sleep, but needs must. Other than that, I've got a good pile of stuff to show you. I even have some haul, because you know I don't really do haul, but it's not that I treated myself as such. I treated myself. Anyway, first things first, I've had lots of people see it on Instagram. I have finished Mini Autumn's Promise. I finished this. It is done. I don't think it has a needle in it still. No, I've already reused my needle. It's been folded up for, well, probably about a week now, hasn't it? But here we go. I have a finish. That is a mini HAED. And it is not yet been washed. It is going in the washing machine as we speak. As soon as I finish recording this, I've got all the school white shirts to put in. I'll put a couple of towels, school white shirts. This is going in on a 40-degree wash because I've got to get the school shirts clean. So it's going in with them. And if my washing machine and my very biological washing powder can take the dirty marks of school shirts, it can take the dirty marks out of this. I will show it you next week. It will have been through the washing machine. But the reason I didn't put it in the machine is I have a mistake. There is a mistake on here that I've just remembered that I have to fix, and I don't know if it's going to show up. Right, so this is literally the third piece of cross stitch I started. I started the Shores of Hawkrun Hollow. I started Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, standard size, standard colours, which I've scrapped, and then I started this. So that's my cross stitch journey. A huge piece and 2 HAEDs was my starting point. And I probably couldn't stitch very well back in those days. And right here, to me, it jumps out a million miles. No, can't see it. But I know, because I can see it, clear as day, that I've got a line of stitches just here. Line of stitches there that go in the other direction. So I've got a little line of stitches that is going in the wrong direction. You can see it there, and it's making a line. And I thought, why have I got a line on my stitching? And it took me a little while to look at it and hum and ha over it and wonder what was wrong. And just that line, I've done the wrong way round. So the top leg is like the bottom leg. So I'm actually going to cut them, frog them, and restitch them before I wash it. That's the job for today. And I've already taken the pattern out of Pattern Keeper, so I don't even really genuinely know what colour thread I'm going to use. You know what, bollocks, I'm going to leave it. It's part of the journey. I'm not going to fix it. I'm going to shove it in the washing machine, because to find the pattern, that pattern will be saved on the phone before this one, which you all know I've had for years and is dead, is smashed. But that phone is totally dead, so the PDFs saved on there are gone. Well, they're in there, but it's like in 12 pieces, because we were going to replace the screen until we realised that it was too difficult to replace the screen ourselves. So the phone is dead, beyond dead. So I don't have access to the PDF, and for that number of stitches, I'm going to do nothing about it. It's going to be one or the other of 3 shades of, and I might make it stand out more if I restitch it in a different colour. It might actually stand out more than one line of wrong stitching. Anyway, that's going in the washing machine. It's done, it's finished. I'm really pleased. It's out of the way. So I immediately looked at my pattern keeper. So I took that off. That was obviously right at the top of my pattern keeper. And I took that and deleted it because I'd finished it. And then the next one is the key. That's my next oldest pattern keeper whip. After that, I've got Bountiful Bookshelf, and that's just a nightmare. And then it's Pandemic, and then Ariel. So if I'm going to do these buggers in order, oh my God, I'm not going to do them in order, but I have picked up the key. And I worked out with the key where I was, and I was on like 42.5%. And so I looked at it and I thought, right, what shall I do? Shall I try and get it finished in a year? And I looked at it and I thought, I can do 0.25% a day, which was 440 stitches or something. So basically 1% every 4 days. We'll get it finished in 220 days or something. So off I went and started stitching. Yeah, I can't do that many in this a day. It is brilliant. So I'll show you my key for those who've joined me since I've last shown it, which was possibly at the beginning of the year, because I have put some work into it this year. I originally started this thinking it would take me 4 years. Yeah. It's a standard size HAED, 176,000 stitches, and it's huge because I'm stitching it on 14 count Ada, 2 strands on 14 count. And of course I've done all the fun bits. There is the dragon, almost completely complete by that little gap in his tail you can see. There is the key. There is one brick completely finished. That is completely stitched. And the rest of it's not so much, huh? There isn't another bit that's completely finished. This little corner here just is. So there we go. So I have put in, it's now at 43.94, so it's almost at 44. So I've put in nearly 1.5% in the space of 6 or 7 days. And all my stitches have gone in. They've been brown stitches, grey stitches and green stitches over here, I think. I might have taken a few little pictures when I've moved the Q-snap, and I thought I'm just going to stitch within this Q-snap like I tend to, you know, and then fill in loads in that bit so I can show you a really good difference like I do on my treasure hunt bookshelf. I was very quickly moving the Q-snap because I could see the next bunch of stitches were just off the edge of the frame, so I'd move it along a bit, move it along a bit. So this one here is going to be one that I get out and just go, can you see any difference? But I'm going to keep stitching really in this sort of in this kind of area there, the browns, the greens and the greys sneaking in. I'm going to see if I can get this top corner boxed off first. And I have filled in, I then started picking the colours of the gaps, and I have already filled in some of the gaps up here and then carried the thread until I ran out of it basically, or got to another big chunk and then filled that in. So it's ivy leaves on the wall with the key hanging on the wall and the dragons curled around the key. So this is Kirsten Mills, it's charted by HAED. This is standard size, standard colour. It's only huge. I mean, it is a portrait piece, but it is a standard HAED. It's only huge because it's 14 count, and this is showing you can stitch a HAED on whatever count you want. This is 14. This was 18 count. Treasure Hunt bookshelf, 20 count. Whatever makes you, these take such a long time to stitch. You've got to stitch them on something that you can manage. Yes, if it was 25 count, it would be a lovely little piece. It would be about that size. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to, so I didn't. And that's the joy of this hobby. We can do what the hell we like. There's no police, nobody to say you have to stitch it on 25 count. I've got some 25 count HAEDs. I really enjoy them, but I find them quite challenging. This is Heavenly Joy to stitch on. It's 14 count. It's like the easiest it's ever going to get. but it's huge. So when eventually, hopefully, in about a year, and then maybe a little bit more, I'll turn it into a wall hanging. So here's where I'm working. I've currently got, oh, that looks like 898 or something. It's a really rich chocolate brown is joined on currently. What colour is joined on? 938 is joined on at the moment. And I'm obviously just going to work, I'm working here, so there's obviously some browns going in here, and then I'll use it wherever I can see it. A couple of strands in, does use an awful lot of floss. 14 count uses an awful lot of floss. I am only using 2 strands, so the coverage is okay. The further away you hold it, the better it looks. Can you see spotty coverage now? Possibly not. When it's been through the washing machine and tumble dryer and it's been fluffed, yes, I tumble dry them too. When it's been fluffed in the tumble dryer, possibly not even going to see it. The little gaps. Sorry, the bin men are just outside. They only come at this time in the morning on a Thursday. They'll be gone in just a moment. There's only a few houses on our row. Oop. Alright, just pop the edge of my snap off there. There we go. So that's that. So I'm back stitching it, and I'm going to put some stitches in now and then, hopefully every day. Currently come to a slidey stop on that. I did put 1,000 stitches in, which has kind of got me 5 days, well, 4 days in hand, because I haven't stitched on my treasure hunt bookshelf anywhere near enough this month, and it's already the 18th. 19th, is it the 19th today? Oh, it's the 19th today. My treasure hunt bookshelf isn't there yet. Now normally I stitch 1% a month, and it's currently at 17.17. I've not done enough yet, so I have got a lot of stitching to do. I have literally got 83 lots of 72. I have got 6,000 stitches left to put in it this month. Wow. Oops. Let's see if I can manage that, because I really want to do it. So I might have a picture. Oh, I'll have a picture of where it was last week, here. And I said I'm going to go down the book. Now I'm going down the book, but I moved my 20 stitch guidelines this morning, because actually the book went half down my guideline and half down the next side. So I've moved my guidelines so that the book is actually about 25 stitches wide. So I've moved my 20 stitch guideline that I've been trying to come down to come to the little fox. So I've moved it this morning, so I'm coming down the book, and it looks like this now. I don't think there was a bit more. I don't think I've stitched much further up there. So that's where it looks today. So I'm very definitely, I've definitely put some colour in here. That's the bottom of, that's the top of the next shelf there. That's the shelf. That beige bit there is the shelf. This is the gap between the books and the shelf above. And then here is the orangey book. And then the fox should be about here. So I'm going to come down this book. It is, 10 or 12 colours, this book. So hopefully I'm going to be able to do it without too much trouble, too much faffing on, too much confetti. I'm going to come down the side of this book, and if all fails, I'll just pick the dark colour between the books and I'll bang in a ton of stitches, one side or the other of this book, just to get some stitches in. But I'm hoping I can get the stitches. I mean, this book in itself is only 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. That's about, that whole stretch down there is about 2,000 stitches. So I need to do 3 times that. So I should easily be able to get this book in, probably do a bit of the sidey bits as well. But I'm going to come straight down this book, find the fox, stitch the fox, and then I'll just fill in with black somewhere. I don't know, some big chunk of colour I can just bang in the rest of the stitches for the month, I hope. I'm going to hope I'm going to get it done. I'm going to have to concentrate on this now and put everything else to one side for the month, I think, which is quite sad because I've got 2 Halloween pieces on, but I got waylaid and I've fallen behind, and I don't really want to fall behind. So there we are. The rest of it is hanging out there. It is. And this is massive. There's one end. There's the other. That's almost, that is actually, if I hold both corners of the fabric, I've got quite long arms. That is my full stretch. That's my arm straight. It's that big. One corner there. One corner there. Super size. Max colour. 20 count. Which is my favourite. One strand. Long way to go. 17% at the moment. Hopefully by the end of the month it'll be at 18%, or as absolutely close as I can get it, and then I'll have to catch up next month, which I have only had to do once, and I wasn't even that short of stitches, but I've only had to do it one time. I've had to catch up the next month. Right, so 2 more things active to show you. My Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, which was here the last time you saw it. I am using the paper pattern, so I'm just having to get that off. My hairpins are hanging off this, don't worry. Okay, so this week it looks like this. That is showing very bright. It's not quite that bright in real life. Anyway, so what have I done? An awful lot of the flames here. I've done some more flames. And cauldron. Now I had a bit of an issue with the cauldron. The cauldron was meant to be 647, I think, and I started stitching the cauldron in, and it was weirdly, and I'm saying weirdly because I found it really odd that it did it, it blended in completely with the background. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the cauldron. But the fabric is purple, you know, it's blue and purple, but I couldn't see the grey on it at all. It just disappeared. I did take a photo, but I don't know, I think even the colour on the photo didn't show how it looked in real life, but I'll put it up anyway because I'm pretty sure I took a photo before I frogged it. So I frogged it and I went looking for a grey, and I thought I was going to have to do it in 3799, which is the witch's arm here. But then I found the dinky dye that I was using for the mid-size ship of life, which I was using black sand beach and terracotta. I think I'm going to UFO that. But here, this is a lovely, it is variegated because it's a dinky dye and it's silk, so it's lovely. But I found that hanging on a hair bubble. Here I am with my professional thread drop. It's a hair bubble. So, not one I can use because it's a sparkly one. It wouldn't hold my hair for 2 seconds. I found that. So I was really pleased. And I started stitching it. And I think that will do it. I wasn't sure why the cauldron wasn't black or very, very dark charcoal. So now I'm doing it black sand beach. I found the charcoal as well, but that was actually a lighter grey. Found that first and I was like, whoopee. Oh, I wonder if the other one's here. So I found that, and that's brilliant. So 1, I'm using up something from stash, and 2, I found something to stitch the cauldron with. So I was just filling in all of this free space here is cauldron. I think once it's all stitched in, it'll be very much better. But I don't know how much more I'm going to get done this month because I have to treasure hunt bookshelf with Fury. So that's that. So I found that, which I was really pleased with, and then when I found that, of course, I then found all of the overdyes. I found the overdyes that I had lost, and of course I just ordered new. Now luckily for me, the ones I ordered, I couldn't get hold of a lot of them because they're old colours and they're fairly obsolete, but I now have 2 Dublin bays, which I'm not mad about because it's gorgeous. I have 2 bramble bushes, again not mad about that, lovely variegated brown, showing so much brighter than it is in real life. And I have a lovely big skein of apple cider to go with my part used small skein of apple cider. And they are, my 10-yard skein that I've just bought is much more variegated. That's much single colour. My 10-yard skein there is a lot more variegated, so I've got a big skein of apple cider. The others, oh, and I got a skein of burlap. Now my burlaps are very different. I've got my new one is dark and my old one is light, and it was the burlap that I held up against, I think, the apple cider and said, these are exactly the same. Well, my new burlap is darker, so I'll be using my new one and not my old one, if you see what I mean. So that's what I ordered myself, and then I found some of the others. I found the curry, which should have been the witch's face, but I used the DMC instead, which is fine. It's fine. And I found the grasshopper that's going to be my swamp, and I'd actually written the swamp on it. So I'm really pleased I found that, because I couldn't quite remember what colour. I think I'd said grasshopper, but I wasn't completely sure. So I'm really glad I found the colour I'd already picked out for the swamp. So these now are in the bag with the pattern, so that they will not be lost again. How they got separated, I don't know. So when I pop him away, and there's a big pen that I'm using to mark off my chart with, or a pink one, and a purple one there. These are my boys, they smell. This one smells of watermelon. It smells of chemicals. It does not smell of watermelon, it smells of chemicals. But here it is. And I am there. So I was hoping to finish this block for Halloween. I'm frankly going to be happy if I get that cauldron stitched, because I'm well behind. So I had some haul, and I got myself 2 bits of fabric and some yarn from Wool Warehouse. I got Lizzie a piece of fabric. She's stitching something for somebody on that. Don't know. It's an aliens pattern. It's really nice. She's getting into cross stitch all on her own, nothing to do with me. All she did was ask me for some bits of Ada, which I provided her, obviously, little offcuts, because I'm mean, but she only wanted little bits. And she's just doing like pixel art drawings, little free like clip art pixel art drawings. She's turning them into little cross stitches, and now she's starting to find free patterns to use. I will get her a witchy stitch pattern. So I got 2 different greys for my witchy stitch pattern. So I've got a much darker one and I've got a much greyer one. So obviously he's still in the packet, so I didn't start him. It's unhelpful, it just has a code on it. I'd have to look up my invoice to see what colour it actually is, but I've got really dark grey and not quite so dark grey. And I started Nightmare Before Coffee, and in the space of 2 days got it to 59%. And it's because it is tiddly tiny and it is really fun. All I did was grid for the centre and I centre started, and it's there. Isn't it wonderful? It is absolutely wonderful. There we go. Nightmare Before Coffee. This is all black. I just need to fill that in. A little black in the top of the teacup. I've got the rest of the ghost's face to do, and a few more of, they've got these dotted all the way around, and then the words, and it'll be done. But obviously I got to a slidey stop, came out of my Q-snap, and I haven't put it back on yet, but I do really want to get this done. I want to get this finished. Might be November, but I want to get this finished in a little frame stuck on the coffee cupboard. So there we go. So I started, it wasn't a start and a finish, it was a start and a 60%. And as patterns go, one, it loaded into Pattern Keeper perfectly, which was really good. All I had to do was, because it's multiple charts, you get a black and white chart, you get a colour chart, you get a big chart over 4 pages, or you get the whole chart on 1 page. Now when I put one of those charts into Pattern Keeper, you say no to the pages you don't want it to look at, and I just put in the black and white full page picture. I just find that loads so much better. There's no overlap to deal with, and I loaded it in. You just have to manually input your colours, which takes a minute, and it's done, and it's brilliant. It just loaded in perfect. So I'm really happy with it. I just need to get on. I need to finish this little ghosty. That's the I think it's actually a brown. Anyway, there, to finish off these, and I need to finish off his face, but we're getting on. Really love it, really love it. Just need to do the words and finish off the little bits around the edges. Nightmare before coffee. And it also leaves me with the rest of the fat quarter. Yes, I put it right in the corner. I counted it quite carefully. I probably could have come this way a little bit, but I did actually want to get it in the Q-snap. That ghost is the top, so I've got about 4 or 5 centimetres. I've got 1.5 inches border. It's just going in the frame. I will be framing it myself. There is more than enough. It will be fine. Yay! So that leaves me all of that to use for something else. This is 32 count Lugana, which 32 count for a small. This is a small. This is not a small. This is a small. Is what I like to stitch on. 2 strands gives you brilliant coverage. It brings it out at a nice size, so I'm not just stitching something this size. It brings it out to a nice size, and I like 32. 2 strands on 32 count, I think it's like the best of both. It's everything. I like it very much. So there we go. Although I don't stitch on 16 count very much. I think I've only got one HAED, which is it's not a HAED, full coverage. The Mermaid is on 16 count, my Ariel, which I've got so much to do on. Oh, crikey. Oh, I've got so many whips. So I was given at Christmas last year a voucher from one of my lovely subscribers. You know who you are. You always watch me. You're a very, very loyal supporter. Thank you so much. I finally used it. Thank you. And I bought the overdyes, which are now over there. I just pointed in the wrong place. And I got myself 2 patterns. One pattern I'm not going to show you just now because I'm going to think on it a little bit, but I will explain it and show you it as and when I'm going to get closer to starting it. So I did get another pattern, and I got this, which I've wanted since I saw it. Everybody saw it. It was out of stock everywhere in the UK for a little while. They're all back in stock now, and I love them, and I'm going to get several of them. But this is my first one. It is Cottage Garden Samplings, and it's the Jackrabbit. Oh, I love him. I absolutely love him. Look at his little face. Oh, he's so gorgeous. So I will stitch him at some point. I'm probably going to start him next year. He's going to be a next year for me, and because I am going to do a few starts. I'll talk about that in a second. The only thing I don't really like is the orange in his ears, and here I'll find something. I'll probably pink tone, something pink, something overdyed, and something pink in his. Oh, I love him. He's so gorgeous. Yeah, I'll probably go with a nice dark pink, not candy pink, but a nice dark muted pink probably, because I'm not too jazzed on the orange. And I don't know about the stuff in the background either. I might not even stitch that. I just think I love him. I might just stitch him. We'll see how I get on. Otherwise, I mean, it will be fairly plain without it. I'll start with him and I'll see how I go. Depends how many more of them I'm going to get. I love the fox. I love the ferret. I've got to. I think is there a swan? I have to have the swan. But yeah, yes, it's 2 swans, isn't it? Anyway, I will get some more of these. So I was thrilled to bits with getting my little pattern that I've been after for a little while, and I know loads of people have done them and started them and whatnot. Anyway, yeah, so I said I thought I might try not to start anything next year, and a couple of people commented, why don't you just allow yourself one now and again? So I don't really do birthday starts as such, but I might allow myself one, say once a quarter or something. So maybe only try to limit it to like 4, and I might be able to finish 4 of my whips, thus keeping myself balanced maybe. We'll see. We'll see in December, because I do an end of year whip parade. We'll see in December just how we've done this year. I know I've finished quite a few things and have started a few things, but I don't think I've started more than I've finished, if you see what I mean. So we'll see. We'll see. So maybe I'm going to allow myself 4, with the possibility of if something I can't control myself, I'm not going to not allow myself to do something. I'm too old to set restrictions on myself like that. If I start something, I start something. Like this, I just needed to start him. I've nearly finished him. I'm going to try and finish this in November. Realistically, I might not get it done in October, because I really do need to stay caught up on my oh, I've gone over the boy. I need to stop. Hang on. Right, guys, sorry about that. My tablet doesn't like recordings over half an hour. Sometimes it just erases them or makes the files too big and you can't read, it then won't process them. So I stopped, and it is done. Mini Autumn's Promise has just gone in the washing machine with all the school shirts. It's on at 40 degrees. We'll see what happens to it. I've just shoved it in, turned on the washing machine, churned the laundry. My work clothes have gone in the tumble dryer. I am working today. I'm on 2 till 10, so I'm on a late today, and then I've got 2 days off. So I've just worked Friday, Thursday, I'm not even sure. I think I've just done 7 days. Today's day 7, I think, but it's fine because they're not that long shifts, and it's just the way it's fallen. But honestly, I'm absolutely fine with it. It's been fine. I do sleep a lot. What did I do last week? Friday. So I did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then this week I've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh no, that's next week. Where are we? I've done Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Yes, so I'm doing Thursday today. I've got Friday and Saturday off, and I'm back in on Sunday, and then it's exactly the same. I've then got 5 days, and then I've got Friday and Saturday off next week. And I think next week I'm all earlies. Yes. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, which is 5 till 2, which actually works out quite nicely. I pick up the kids from school, come home. I do have a little nap because I get up at like 3:45, but it gives me the evening, which is fine. So I'm quite pleased with it. It seems to be going okay, and I know a little bit more now about what I need to be doing, so I think I'm a little bit less annoying, constantly having to ask people. So I feel more confident there now. So I think we're going well, and we'll see how we do. And I've got a lot of treasure hunt bookshelf to stitch, so I'm going to get straight on that now. And I've now got, it's 10 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, 1. I need to leave at about 20 past 1. So I've got 3 hours of stitching. Right, I'm going to go and do 3 hours of stitching, guys. I'll get my video processed around it. Okay, I'll see you soon. Hopefully about a week. About a week. Well, that'll be before the end of the month, I think, won't it? Yes, of course it will. I'll see you in about a week, guys, and see if I've caught up with myself. Right, take care of yourselves. I hope you have a really great week. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.